changed everything. The way I walk, the way I breathe. Will my fate shift into the night? But here I am, same old thing. Thinking deep, no ecstasy. Reality haunts the living mind. If I saw another day, only to scream into the night. Nothing ever tries to change, even if I want to realize. 'Cause I've been sitting here, same old ways, taking off without the same mistake. Darling, when you go away, it won't be as simple for you.
I'm on mute for goodness sake. Right, sorry. Let's start that again. Yo, guys. Old Man G here, back again for this up-and-coming season, Manchester United season 2022-2023 season review. Currently, I'm by myself, so I'm hoping that Yassi or Lassie at this moment will actually come and join. So I'm just waiting for him. But remember, guys, if you use your channel to like, share, and subscribe to Red Devil Studio. Follow us on Twitter, United X, smash the notification button for next Manchester United news, and then some, etc., etc. Boy, geez, unprofessional setting up, but here I am anyway. Shouts to those in the chat as well. Mo, yo, what up, G? Yep, I'm back, bro. I'm back. So this is my season preview. Coming to season, it's going to be divided into my essentially review currently of United's transfer business, followed by my expectations going into the season, then followed by my what I would call my starting 11 prediction, and then followed by my predictions for the season as well. But like I said, make sure that you like, get involved in the comments. Appreciate it. Box, lovely to see you in the chat, man. Really appreciate it. Oh, Yassir's here, man. My bro Yassir's here. Let's quickly just switch. It's better, isn't it? Yassir, bro, are you there?
Yeah, but let me mute my TV real quick.
No problem. So I'm joined, guys, by Yassir, man. We're live, and we are here to do our United season preview, man. So how you doing, Yassir? By the way, how you doing? Shout out to Motaba, who's working watching on Facebook, man. Appreciate it. But yeah, Yassir, man, how you doing? Yassir, you there?
Yeah, I'm back. I just muted my TV. How you doing?
No problem. I'm fine. I mean, before we get into it, actually, let's get straight into it. Better late than never. What are your thoughts? Because we're going to get into what our expectations are this season, starting 11 predictions, etc. But what would you say are your what's currently your view on United's transfer business so far?
I don't know. To be honest, I'm having I've been having an up and down emotional kind of roller coaster of a transfer window. To be honest, I it looks like we're not getting the players that we should have gotten.
Mm,
Looks like we haven't gotten a right winger yet. We definitely haven't gotten Frankie De Jong over the line yet.
mm.
Whether that happens, I mean, who knows? The couple position we got Ericsson, which is a
Was
good
free.
player, but is that a very the my problem with my United transfer window for the last couple of 10 years is we always seem to get players and positions that are not crucial. Like for example, we have like a gaping hole. So instead of filling that hole, we tend to get other players, like other
Mm,
positions that we kind of like are well off. I don't know. I mean, I love Ericsson. Phenomenal. I'm excited to see how he does, but
mm,
we have a lot of number 10s, we have Bruno, we
mm,
have Van de Beek.
mm.
Um so I don't know. I just got for me it's very hard to judge this transfer window. It is quite clear that Erik Ten Hag had a lot of players that he wanted to get in, and for whatever reason, we haven't gotten in all those players. But at the same time, it's like it's hard to judge it because we don't know exactly how Erik Ten Hag is going to set up. So as
Okay.
much as I complain about Ericsson being a number 10, if Ericsson plays as a number 8, that's not a bad signing.
Okay.
Um, so I'm in this sort of like in between where I'm like kind of like wait and see, to be honest. I'm just trying to
Okay.
wait and see how everything kind of like forms and how the team kind of like takes shape. I've been very excited about the preseason.
Mm.
I think we have very good performances. So, and the transfer window in general, I'm a 50-50 on it, to be honest. That's how I
Mm.
feel about it.
Frank, fair. That's very contrasting yesterday, man. Boxers 5 out of 10. Feels half complete.
Yeah,
The most important transfer, which is Ten Hag, which I guess it's a fair point. Solju Chua says, and shout out to him, Ericsson can also play a deep role, which is kind of what you were alluding to there. Yes,
yeah. I
um,
feel I feel like it's this transfer window is a very hard one because it's hard to assess the team because
mm,
we had a lot of players that left, but we also had a lot of players that are in this team that massively underperformed last
mm,
season.
mm,
So for whatever reason, if these players end up performing well this
mm,
season,
mm,
then we will look at this transfer window as not being maybe a lot more positive than a lot of people might look at it.
mm, mm,
I just don't. It's just a very hard window to judge because
mm,
it's like at one point there's like in our fan base there's so many extremes. There's
mm,
an extreme where people saying we need a whole new squad. We
mm,
need at least eight to nine players coming in, eight to
mm,
nine players going out,
mm,
and that's always been unrealistic. But then also then there's fans saying, okay, we understand the 8 and 9 it's not possible, but release needs to get 4 and 5, and that's not happening as well. So it's like
mm.
it's hard to judge this transfer window, to be honest.
Do you think that before going to the question, do you think that that is um like who like what you're feeling right now, what you're saying, and what obviously people in the comments are talking about, whose fault do you think that is? Do you think it's because the way that I'm almost seeing it is that like is some of this on the players from last season not getting into Champions League? Is some of it on the United board and the mismanagement? Maybe they should have been trying to get targets. You know, listening to what, for example, Ralph was saying about certain targets starting from January and working on that, or some of it even Ten Hag's fault. With this ongoing obsession, for example, with Van der Beek, him or nobody else, has made us maybe put a lot of energy into that when we could have done on other things. Like, what do you think? Like, whose fault is it right now? Do you think?
I don't think I don't think there's I don't think it's anyone's fault. I just feel like
Mm,
it's just a situation we're in. I mean, I feel like as much as I like to blame the board or all the
mm,
stuff, I mean, obviously there's always the Glazers and they're always number one people to blame, but
mm,
I feel like we also have to look at things in a very realistic manner. Like the whole like we're going through a whole completely different no quote unquote new look United. We have a new manager. We need to have a new CEO in Richard Arnold, and
mm,
John Marta now is having a more clear, precise role. We got a deputy football director as well that we hired. So it's like a there's a shakeup in Man United in terms of our structure, and because of that shakeup, because it's a completely different regime from the prior regime. I just feel like it was in that sense it makes sense the way this transfer that has gone. I just feel like there's a lot of key areas is just like new and not in place
mm,
in order for us to attack this transfer that we expected the way we expected to attack. So I
mm,
just feel like hopefully over time, the more like things progress, that we see a more clearer,
mm,
more organized structure. I just feel like this quote unquote disorganization is because everything is new.
mm,
Like John Murta's, like apparently this is like a new role for him, pretty much, where he's
mm,
like front and center, the football director. Then he has a
mm,
deputy football director. Then
mm,
there's a completely new manager.
mm.
Everything's completely different, and I mean, I just feel like sometimes as fans we kind of like to scream and yell and shout, and I understand it. There's a lot of
But
frustration.
yeah,
I,
exactly.
yeah,
With
I
it,
understand there's a lot of frustration last 10 years, but I
mm,
also like gotta sit back and like take a step back and kind of look at things for what they are. I just feel
mm,
like because of the situation we're in,
mm,
because of the crap that we were in for the last 10 years,
for what
we
they are.
wanted a shake up, and we got a shake up, and it's just gonna probably gonna take time. Um, so what I'm looking forward to is, I guess, just this transfer window at the way it ends up, but moving forward for us to be a more organized, more precise, have a more of a actual clear plan, and
mm.
if that doesn't come to fruition, then I feel like then as fans we have a really strong justifiable reason to be upset and angry, to be honest. But for right now, I just feel like we should just be a little bit more patient. I know that's like tough to hear as a fan base because we've been patient for so long, but guys, it's just the reality we're in.
Fair enough, yes, Ian, and that's actually quite succinct. And I'm sure there'll be a lot of people in chat that agree with you as well. Actually, let me quickly read some of the comments that come in. Box, there's changing parts too. If Wan-Bissaka, Twan Telex are uploaded, and I can see us getting right back to start or challenge Dallo. That's the question. That's if we can get them uploaded. I think that's if I was to add to Yasis, the only other disappointing thing I would say is how you know we with my transfers is that, as you alluded to, you know, we signed another defender who, yes, okay, fine, he looks like he's solid, but did we need to sign another defender in terms of the amount? Not necessarily. A number 10, number 8 in Ericsson, good squad player, but again, and then left back, where again, in theory, we already have, Luke Shaw and Tellers, although Tellers might be offloaded, but still, it's like, you know, and it's more like a potential as opposed to a sheer starter. So when I look at that and I'm thinking, right, okay, and we'll get to the starting 11 at some point later in the show, but it's just like we lost, for me, the two crucial things, that we lost Pogba and Matic. We lost two midfielders, a box to box and a defensive midfielder, and we've not replaced either position at all. And even, to be honest, as much as I love De Jong isn't actually a direct replacement for Matic or Pogba. He's not a box to box midfielder, and he's definitely not a defensive midfielder like the way that we use with Matic. So, you know, and then you have a situation where we actually have to upload players. And aside from Pereira, who's obviously gone to Fulham for about 10 million, which fair enough. The others, Wan-Bissaka, Tellers, I appreciate that they like Tellers was bought recently. Wan-Bissaka was bought recently, so they probably want to fight for their place. I think it's reasonable for Twan to be moved on. I mean, this guy, I mean, to be honest, when he was at Villa, when it was something, we should have sold him then, to be honest, when he was at loan at Villa, etc. There were opportunities to do it. Phil Jones, Eric Bay. I love Bay. I still think Bay is one of our best defenders. People keep on saying he's reckless and stuff like that. I'm like, well, okay, yeah, but sometimes you need a reckless defender sometimes, but he's not. He's if the coaches don't want him, don't favor him, fine, sell him, but don't give him a new contract, which is what Woodward did for Bay and Phil Jones. Sell him, he's good. I'm sure, like even Arsenal and so on, and I think I'm seeing Roma. I think Mourinho wants him maybe. Sell him, get the money for him and Jones, offload them so we can take that money. So that all this talk about Anthony being 80 million, oh, 100 million, oh, it's too much. It's like, well, is it really too much if you upload all those players that I said and potentially Telles and Wan-Bissaka? No, it's not that much. Why do United struggle to offload players? And simple factors that we sign a lot of players on high wages. It's difficult to offload them because United have been consistently competing at the highest level. Plus, the Ronaldo situation is a moving part too. Yeah, Ronaldo. That's we might talk about that briefly because that's a bit of a joke as well. But sorry,
Can
yeah,
I quickly say something? I feel like, and this is you know what, I also like, I understand the notion that we need two midfielders, which is clear.
mm,
Um, but I also think that we also as families need to like kind of, sometimes I feel like we're stuck into like what we used to, like the managers that we're used to. We understand the type of profile, the type of players we need.
mm,
So I've always said this was freaking young. I just genuinely, in my heart and heart, believe that the way Ten Hag sees Frankie De Jong is like a strictly a DM.
mm,
Like Ten Hag, in my general opinion, sees Frankie De Jong as our defensive midfielder. As much as a lot of of us are fan, we don't want to see that type of midfielder, but that's probably the type of midfielder that works in a Ten Hag system. I
mm,
feel like maybe too much for us fan base where we want to see a Conte, we want to see like a Casemiro or like a Fabinho type player,
mm,
but in reality, Ten Hag system is a lot different than Oli's system or a Mourinho system, or you know what I mean. So it's
mm,
like, I feel like for us as fans, we're like kind of like used to like, oh, this is the we need a DM, so this is the type of player we need and stuff like that. Where
mm,
we need to kind of shift that mentality to think about, okay, the players that we're getting in and players that Ten Hag wants is for his system, and it might not be exactly what we think a certain player, a certain role should be in, etc., etc., etc. So,
mm,
for example, the whole Ericsson situation, for me, that's, I just never understood that Ericsson, why we're going after Ericsson. But if Ten Hag has an idea where he's trying to play him deeper and play him in a completely different role, then I'm like, okay, it's then like then I'm like okay with it, because it's like, okay, you know what you're doing.
mm,
I'm just gonna sit back and let you do what you're doing, you know. So I
mm.
feel like we should have that thinking as a fan base to be like, okay, let's just calm down and see how things kind of fall in places, you know.
That's fair. No, that's fair. That's fair. That's fair. Let's look. Yes, we'll talk about Ronaldo. If we get De Jong and a Ford, would it be a good window? For me, it would be. Um, no, I'd still call it 6 out of 10. For the simple reason that we have forwards. Okay, assuming that Ronaldo stays, like we have, like I keep on saying this, like it's not, you know, a front three of Sancho, like before last season under Oli, a front three of Sancho, Ronaldo, and Martial, Rashford on the left was actually interesting. Even before that, okay, yes, Greenwood enough said so, but you know, the potential of like the likes of Ahmad, and you've got maybe a Langard with potential and so on. So, you know, I'm not saying it couldn't be better, but the big thing for me last season was it was our midfield. It was our midfield, defense as well with Maguire, but that's not going to change. But the big thing was our midfield. And I just think that even if we sign De Jong, is that going to be enough with Fred, McTominay? I'm not entirely sure. Maybe 6, maybe 7, but I wouldn't go further than that. I feel like for us to have a really good, if you're talking about how I would say, okay, we've had the best window, I'd say we need to sign at least 2 midfielders, a forward, and a right back. That would be on top of what we were. I wouldn't even have said centre back necessarily per se. Really, if Varane and Bai were going to be involved, but clearly Bai is not going to be involved. Those are the four things: two midfielders, a forward, and a right back. Already, So, um, who needs CR7? You guys have Marcus Ballon or Rashford. Um, I'm not going to name names as to who coined that, so we'll just move on. Ronaldo's at fault for saying he wants to leave in mid-July, which meant Anthony was put on the back burner as not urgent. Now Ajax have had a fire, so as in a reluctant to bet. Yep. And if people remember, that's exactly what happened at Juventus as well. Exactly what happened.
I have a question.
Mm.
How would you be devastated if we didn't get Anthony?
Say it again.
Would you be devastated if we didn't get Anthony?
I won't be devastated um, because we still have again. This is all assuming Ronaldo stays. But we still have Sancho, Martial, Rashford. That's three forwards, at least. Ronaldo's there in and around, so that's four. And then you can then throw in likes of like Ahmad and potentially even Ericsson, who can play on the left. Potentially, he did that for Spurs quite a few times, so it's not impossible for him to do that. More so than Bruno, in my opinion.
I
Um,
don't know. I'll agree. 100% agree with you. For me, I was like, Anthony is a signing that I'll be happy if we sign him. I'll be
mm,
excited. I would love to
mm,
have that type of player. But for me, I just don't think we need that. Or we need to play like that. I feel like when you're going through the transfer window, I 100% agree with the notion that you need to take care of the crucial aspects first,
mm.
then get players upgrades and stuff like that is secondary. I just
Mm,
don't understand why we're spending 80 million on a right winger when we need a
exactly.
right back, when we need two midfielders. That makes no sense to me.
Especially a right winger who's not necessarily like we need to be. I mean, I get it. Oh, the money plays as a thing, but it's like we're still taking a risk though. It's almost like we're back to Maguire all over again. Like what happens if he flops? Okay, and it's not. And I don't. And as far as I'm aware, I don't think Anthony. I'm not sure whether Lissandro Martinez was playing when Ten Hag was. Well, he was. Yeah, they were clearly. Um, but I just think that we need to a certain extent, learn the lessons of Maguire and realize, yes, I don't think there's any problem in us going for that type of player. And it'd be a different story if we'd made those sales that you were talking about. If we'd made
Mhm.
those sales, then I'd be like, oh yeah, of course you can spend 80 million on Anthony because we've made 100 million in sales. So technically the net is only 20 million. So it's no big deal. I don't care. We made a net. But if you're now going to be in a situation where you're going to spend 80 million on Anthony, who's then definitely going to play, so then you're like, right, Anthony has to play, has to start. So now who gets dropped? If Ronaldo stays at the club, then Ronaldo's
Mhm.
not getting dropped. And then you're now like, right, okay, so Ronaldo and Anthony are sure starts for the front three. So then you have to have the other third person is either Sancho, Rashford, or Martial.
Yeah,
Just
I, I
what's
just
last season. So it's gonna, so
I just don't get it because like for me, I'm like looking at a situation where like we spent 40 million on Ahmed, and he looks like he's not even close to ready to even play first in football for Man United. So
mm,
I feel like what are we doing with that player? Then we have Palestri. Apparently, Palestri is going to go on another loan,
mm,
and then you're like, then you have Alenga, and you're like, okay, what are we going to do with Alenga as well? And
mm,
then I feel like I feel like I don't know. I mean, I understand this notion that you always have to buy to improve the quality we have now, but at what point are we gonna improve the quality we have here?
mm,
Like, what when at one point are we gonna is Ahmed gonna be that player that we paid 40 million for? At one
mm,
point is Palestra gonna be the player that we paid money for? Like,
mm,
I don't know. For one of the exciting things about getting Ten Hag was that he's gonna give youth a chance,
mm,
and I don't. If in terms of a squad depth, I would love if Palestri or Ahmed was on the bench and we brought him on and stuff like that, and they got to play 10 minutes here, 10 minutes there, get integrated into the team, then spend 80 million on a right winger that we can just spend more that money on a right back for me, which I feel like is a way more crucial like position we need to fill. But I don't know.
Mm. No, I get that. I get that, bro. I get that. Um, I keep by. I think we need 5 cents in the 4 competitions. But that's the thing. We have seven. We have we have Jones, Twan Eric Bailly, Varane, Lindelof, Maguire, and now obviously there's Andrew Martinez. I don't mind the five, but I just think that if it's like he clearly wants game time. Like Eric Bailly doesn't want to be just on the bench and used sparingly. So if that's the case and it's going to be disruptive or he's going to cause issues, then you might as well sell the player and then have Phil Jones or Twan Seaby as your fifth centre back. For me, Eric Bailly is the one out of all the centre backs that we saw that was the one that could go for a decent amount of money, maybe somewhere between like maybe 15 to 20 million or something like that, possibly at a stretch. Jones is maybe 10 million, and then Twan CB maybe 10, 12 or something like that. But yeah, that's my thing. Shout out to Solo Man, hope you're doing well, buddy. I assume it's a Solo from United agenda. So head over to subscribe to those guys. I just think this window we started way behind because all the players we scouts didn't fit what Ten Hag wanted. Yeah, I mean, and this is where I guess you can blame the board in a sense because, the idea was supposedly that Ralph was going to be a supervisor to Ten Hag, or there was going to be some connection between those guys, and clearly that isn't what happened. Clearly, I assume it's either because United didn't want him, or maybe Ten Hag didn't want to work with him, so that didn't help. And I think that, I think what. I mean, a part of me is thinking, well, did maybe United think that if Ten Hag if Ralph had gotten fourth, whether they would have kept him, I don't know. So, but it's clear to me that there was no real plan after appointing Ralph, and that's what caused problems. Let me just finish and then we'll move on because we're stuck on things so well. For example, Ten Hag wanted Timber, but once he said he wasn't coming, we dropped that and went for Martinez, which I think was a better signing personally. I think Ten Hag wanted Timber Timber as the right back option. Okay, maybe that's why. Abbas Yon says, Sue. Anti feels like a good fit for us, but the price is too much, especially considering he isn't really killing the Dutch league. Exactly. Ronaldo would have to earn his place back, and Sancho, Martial, and Fun for his start. Exactly. I can't see how Ronaldo can go straight to him without having done any preseason with the team, to be honest. Definitely agree.
But here's the problem, though. Here's a major problem with that.
Go on.
I mean, I'm super excited. I'm getting carried away with Peter Friendly, but as the season looms, reality kind of kicks in. I love that front three, but what happens if that front three doesn't start clicking, and this in the sense of desperation, who do we turn to? That's the see, as much as people say like, and I agree, we have to be stern, we have to be strong. You have to put your axe down, foot down, Ronaldo. But if this is the thing, I mean, I love Martial to death, but if Martial and Rashford and Sancho don't start scoring goals in the league, then Ten Hag would have no choice but to hurry up and put Ronaldo, and then in the media, you know how the media is gonna be like, oh, Ten Hag caved in, Ronaldo's bigger than the club, he came straight back in, and et cetera. For me, my hope is this front three goes, they start scoring goals, they start, looking good, we start winning games, and then there's a sense where like, Ronaldo, we love you, but at the same time, we're not desperate for you. You know what I mean? There's no sense of desperation. But if there's a sense of desperation, then we're in the same old again,
Definitely agree. Tang needs to make sure he works for his play. Yes, yep, we mentioned that. Wan-Bissaka, Tellez, Jones, plus Twan Sebi, I would sell. I don't disagree with that. Big up Luca, and unfortunately, sorry that your Twitter got hacked. I read about that, so sorry about that, bro. Shout out to Samasi, Sel Wambasaka. My Twitter got hacked, so I don't know Twitter anymore. So you have to DM the Instagram. Yeah, exactly. That I'm sorry about that, buddy. Really sorry. Sorry to hear that, man. Hope you get sorted. It's either Anthony or Sancho. They're both too similar. Um, Samasi says again, United better need better recruitment. Should have had Paul Mitchell. Harry Maguire should be sold in place at Man United. Need at least a striker or a forward. Yeah, I don't think Paul Mitchell's ever going to leave Monaco though. That's the thing. Zach, shout out to Zach. Yo, what's up? Thank you for joining in, Zach. Mo Wada, Sancho left, Anthony right, and the bench is so thin. We're in a World Cup year. That is crazy. I don't disagree with that. Right, let's quickly move on. To quickly discuss what we went like 30 minutes in. There's still a lot to discuss actually. So, but what would you say are your expectations going into this season? And when I mean expectations, let's keep it concise in terms of like in all like let's divide into the competitions. So United so expectations for where United are going to be in the Premier League, FA Cup, League Cup, and Europa League. So let's start with the Premier League first.
I don't know. This is the tough part about the expectations because
Mm,
because the thing. Let's be honest. Let's be real with us as United fans.
mm.
Our expectation last season was to challenge for the league.
That's
Did that
true.
happen? No, we finished sixth. It was one of the worst seasons we ever had.
Mm,
Um, so I mean, going off about the way last season ended, I won't be shocked. And my expectation is we do a lot better. Like,
mm,
I don't think there's a sense. I'm gonna say this. I generally believe 90% of that squad literally gave up
mm,
midway through the season for
mm,
whatever reason.
mm,
It is what it is. It
mm,
happened. I just feel
mm,
like players just give up. So I expect players, the same players, to perform like they're paid to be performed, and
mm,
I believe we could get fourth.
mm,
I think that's not. I feel like that is not. I don't think I'm getting ahead of myself.
mm,
I believe fourth is uh, down to what. So there's two places up for grab, third and fourth. So
mm,
I believe we can get that ladder. I don't know. Cup competition. So I don't know about the Europa League. I don't know if we could win that. It's very hard to say
mm,
because it's unpredictable. You never know who you're gonna get. You don't
mm,
know who can drop in, etc.
mm,
etc. So for me, it's hard. I can't just say right now, oh boom, we're gonna win the Europa League. So, but I expect us to go far in the Europa League. So
mm,
I'm expecting at least to reach the semifinal. I expect us to be the last four teams standing.
mm,
Um, and I want Ten Hag to take. If there's gonna be a competition that I want him to take serious, it's the Europa League
mm,
because the Europa League not only is it a trophy, but it's also another route into the Champions League.
mm,
So as much as I want us to win any trophy, the trophy that I want us to put our most focus on is the Europa League. So I don't know. I feel like I don't know. I mean, either a Europa League trophy and a fifth place finish. That's what I'm hoping for. That's what I'm
mm,
expecting.
mm,
Or if we don't go far in the Europa League, then we
mm,
put a lot of emphasis into the league and maybe win the one of the other cups, the Carabao Cup.
mm,
Um, but next year, I'm expecting us to do something next year.
mm,
Like, I mean, it'll be amazing if we win something next year. But I just expect us to be entertaining
mm.
as well as competitive. That's
Okay.
all. That's my expectations to be competitive. If we don't finish in the top four, but we see or in the Champions League, but we see we have a good way of playing football.
Yeah.
We can see something that can be built on. Then I feel like I'll be more happy with that. I'll be ecstatic with that. If I can see like, hey, listen, there's a future here. Um, But
Let me
yeah,
quickly just get this through, and thanks for shout out. I'll also read some of your comments, but super chats are appreciated. Factos, man, really appreciate you, brother. Sorry I couldn't make it. In the context of a first season in a rebuild, my expectations are to see the foundations for the future, which is good attacking football and a clear identity of play. And I think that is a good, I think that is a very good summary. And I think that a lot of people wouldn't disagree with you, Factos, to be honest. I don't think a lot of people, I don't even see a lot of United fans really expecting um, Ten Hag to really fit to even finish top four. Although fair enough, Yasir. Um, but as I think Abbas is saying, the other side from that is that these constant rebuilds, can they, can they, can they still do it if that makes any sense? Um, I think just to add to your point, before I look at some of the other small competitions, I mean, what Factor said actually, I think I agree with. Um, I think that, and I think you also have to look at how you have to look at United in context to all the other Premier League teams. That's the key here, really. And when you look at City, have clearly strengthened. They were already ahead of us last season by a lot, so they're going to be, obviously where they are. Liverpool. Uh, have somewhat strengthened, but they've got Klopp, they've got a good manager, they've got consistency. So I think they'll still be around there. Spurs have definitely strengthened, definitely more so than um, I think almost any of the other teams. And Conte has something to prove. Now it could still it would be typical Spurs if despite that it would fall apart. So I don't want to sort of go in and say that, oh my goodness, Spurs are going to transfer a title. Spurs are definitely top four because Spurs have a history of bottling it, and Conte has a history of doing that as well, especially when he falls out with his players. So, but assuming that doesn't happen, Spurs were force. Chelsea, Chelsea are an interesting one. Chelsea are an interesting one. I think if you could make an argument that Chelsea have gotten somewhat weaker than stronger per se. And of course, you have Arsenal who look okay, although there seems to be some. I'm not going to go into it, but there seems to be some issues right now that aren't really ideal for certain players of that football club. So, but that's we're not going to go into that on the show. But yeah, the point I guess I'm trying to make is that like we need to look at United in context of other clubs, and the reality is that most of the clubs I mentioned have either strengthened or and are already ahead of Manchester United. And then when we get into the starting 11, you realize that the Manchester United starting 11 is very similar to the one that finished last season, if not weaker. So for me, I think I would expect, and so I need to just charge on phone, but I would expect to. I don't expect top four personally. I think that I expect sixth, um, fifth or sixth, really. Honestly speaking, probably fifth to be honest, because out of all the top six managers, every other manager's already been at their club for a considerable amount of seasons. Conte's been there for now more than one and a half seasons. Tuchel's been there, so everyone has had more time in the Premier League than Ten Hag has for start, and their team's already ahead. So and that's not even including clubs like West Ham. That respect that David Moyes. United should have finished seventh in the Conference League last season. They should have, because we lost that game, and it's only because West Ham lost that we're not in the Europa League. That's it. So David Moyes actually and West Ham have been doing well amongst other teams. So yeah, um, I'm saying six to be honest. But as Factor said, if I can get that good attacking football, if I can get some cohesiveness, and we can strengthen in January, then it is what it is. Let me just some quick comments, and then I will go. Actually, give me 1 minute, go. In fact, Yasir, um, what? So let's group the cups together. What about the FA Cup, and the League Cup? What are your expectations for Manchester United in those?
yeah, my expectation for those are I want us to be competitive in those. Um, I feel like even Man United needs to be brave. We need to. take a risk on one of these trophies. To be honest, I mean, the, but the problem is, I feel like a lot of the other big clubs are gonna also be after these these cups. So I just I feel like and also I feel like luck has a lot to do with it. I mean, luck of the draw. I mean, we haven't had. I mean, last season FA Cup we lost out to, was it Nottingham Forest?
Middlesbrough,
Middlesbrough,
Middlesbrough.
sorry, Middlesbrough, and then in the League Cup we lost out to West Ham. So
Mm,
I feel like if we do get, hopefully, if we do get a good draws, I mean, and we can definitely get far in those cups. I don't see a reason not to. To be honest, I don't, unless we're playing against like Liverpool or Man City and the FA Cup run of sixth round of the FA Cup was just kind of like unfortunate, but
mm,
I mean, hopefully, if we get good draws, so yeah, I feel like this season might be that one season where we might actually win something, guys. Like,
mm,
why not? Win like a FA Cup. That could be the start and era of Ten Hag. We
mm,
had like a trophy drought for the last, what, 5 years or something like that. So
mm,
for us to win our first trophy under Ten Hag, have a style of play. So
mm,
for me, if that happens, then I can
mm,
care less where we finish,
mm,
because that
mm,
means we just have a good trajectory going forward. Okay, we want something, we have a style of play, we're building something, and then for me, league places don't matter, because if just because you finish fifth or sixth doesn't mean you can't finish second the next season. That's just,
mm, mm.
what I mean. So for me, it's like it's all about progression. It's all about building something. So I do understand, and I read some comments in the chat where they say um that if we don't finish in the top four in the Champions League, it's going to be hard for us to attract players.
Mm,
I feel like that's kind of a myth, in my general opinion. I feel like with United, we don't ever have a problem with attracting. We have there's certain players, yes, that we can might not get, but I feel like we're in. I feel like a lot of the families are at a point where we don't want players like that at our cup, anyways.
mm,
We just want to build a good squad. We don't
mm.
want players that they have conditions for in order for them to come here. We don't want players that believe in what the manager's trying to build, understand where they can fit, and we can grow like that. That's the type of players we want. So yeah.
Fair, fair. Before I give mine, and then we'll talk about the Europa League. Let me have a quick with some of these comments. Um, Ten Hag needs a strong enough to push his Spurs because they've been getting away with murder for years. Smasi, hey Yasser, mask on, or is has Yasser a mask on, or is that his beard? Says Smasi.
I mean, my beard is black and the mask is black, so I mean, but yeah, so so yeah, I do have a mask on though. I do have a mask on.
Abba
Uh,
says YFC Magpies, missed Europa League, Sue, let's go. So someone wants to unite Cristiano Ronaldo in Europa League. Fourth is the minimum expectation. Not sure how that suddenly became impossible because of one terrible season. Um, my only answer to that, Mo, is simple because the squad is still pretty much the same, and do you trust the players to? I think that's the key thing. Is like for me, the squad is more or less the same, and do you trust those players? Like when the first time of trouble comes, do you where's the faith in them to say, right, you know what? We're not gonna down tools. We're gonna keep on fighting.
I feel like also people don't understand playing attacking football, playing a more progressive and more entertaining football is a lot harder to do than playing counter-attacking football. I feel like being successful is a lot easier to be successful playing counter-attacking football, playing pragmatic football than it is.
Mm,
This takes a lot of time. I mean,
mm,
it's like it takes a lot of time.
mm,
That's one. So it's hard for if to expect Ten Hag all of a sudden in 1 year to boom has his player understanding his philosophy, get his
mm,
player playing his way, everything being smooth. I feel like
mm,
that's asking, that just doesn't, that's not how it works. It
mm,
just in general takes time, and
mm,
like you said, RDS, we still had the same squad, so it's also for him understanding. It's going to take him at least like a season for him to
Mm,
understand his squad in the first place. To understand, okay, what player can is this player? Can they truly play my system? Is or do I need an upgrade? Can because look at the midfield we have. We have Fed and McTominay. A
mm,
lot of our fan base believe both of these players are incapable of playing Ten Hag's football,
mm,
but these are the players we have.
mm,
So it's gonna take time, man. It's gonna take time, man. There's we're we battling against one. This is the toughest league that has Jurgen Klopp, Pep Guardiola, Antonio Conte, and Thomas Tuchel. That's four good managers right there,
mm,
and if you expect us to finish fourth, one of those managers have to finish outside of the top four.
mm,
So I just feel like it's a lot easier said than done, to be honest. And
mm,
for me, I won't have a problem with us finishing outside of the top four as long as we can see a clear plan and quick strategy and see that okay, Ten Hag is actually trying to progress on a style of play, entertaining football, and we can see that blueprint being laid down. That, like the previous comment said, the foundation being
mm,
laid down. That's what I'm looking forward to more than anything than finishing fourth what because the only thing the only thing I don't want is we finish fourth by default. Like
mm,
everyone, there's certain people have bad, and we finish fourth, but we're really not. Our
mm,
squad is not there. You know what I
mm,
mean? So
mm. No, fair, yes, yeah, man. Samuel says prediction: great for Winston performance top four, but fit, but top four no, but fifth with a small gap, fourth in Europa League win. That's fair. That's reasonable. Um, English, Town FC, off-season pro-European. Okay. Um, he has to win Europa for league. Only Chelsea, who had Europa League football, made top four in 1819. I know normally big teams play Europa finish fifth, seventh, unless you get eliminated very early on for top four. Exactly. Um, Ten Hag needs his players, so be patient. Abbas says 10-year rebuild. We need a style of play. And I think something about loser pool. Um, Rico S says, and United will have major trouble attracting players with the idea of maybe Champions League again in 3 years. That's a fair point. That's why we need Champions League sooner rather than later because players are. I mean, even Frank, I do wonder whether Frankie De Jong would be a United player if we had Champions League football, but you don't know. Um, Adad Free says, oh wait, that's fine. Okay, that's fair. Abra says top six or fourth. Moa said there is no free hit year to establish a style of football. It's not like we've been finishing bottom half like when Sir Alex Ferguson arrived. Yeah, it shouldn't be a free hit, but I think it's the whole point is just expectations. Is because like if Ollie, I think that because the key is we're sort of saying that like okay, let's just say that he gets six, then what? Are you going to now sack Ten Hag and bring someone else in, and then who if you are who you going to bring in? You know. Um, we need to rotate the Europa League group stage, which is true. Hence, Malaysia, Heat in Malaysia, Lindelof, Garner, Ikbar, Van der Beek. Yeah. For Europa League squad, I think that's true. I'm going to get in the squad in a second. I like to get top four, but winning the Europa and getting fifth is acceptable. Yeah, exactly. Fifth in the Europa. This is what I always say because to me, top four and fifth with the Europa League is pretty much the same difference. I'd actually make an argument that fifth in the Europa League is better, or even sixth in the Europa League is better because if you win the Europa League, not only one you have a trophy, but two you get into the Champions League and in pot one. Whereas if you get fourth, then yes, okay, you're high on the table and you've got the Champions League, but you're in a pot two or maybe three. So yeah, I will always take a fifth or sixth place finish with a Europa League trophy over a fourth because at the end of the day, a fourth place finish with no trophy, you yes, okay, you've got Champions League, but that's not a trophy. A Europa League with fifth is a trophy and a Champions League thing. Yeah, for me, that will always be superior to just finishing fourth. You know, Paradise, but you could say Conte came in mid-season, qualified for UCL football. Yes, but the only thing I guess you would say with that is that one, um, it was really the difference between Arsenal, United, and Spurs. I've seen was that of consistency. It was consistency because let's keep it a stack. United beat Spurs twice, actually. You know, you did. So at the end of the day, like it was the consistency that Spurs had at the end that got it for them, and Arsenal flopping. Then it wasn't, I would say, necessarily Conte's. Yeah, of course it was Conte, but the point I guess I'm trying to make is that like would that have been the same case if Arsenal and Manchester United weren't having certainly Manchester United weren't having disastrous seasons? I don't know, but I guess we'll see what happens.
And also, like, I feel like people need to understand the style of football Conte. Um, like I said, pragmatic football is easier to have instant success, but it doesn't. You don't have longevity with it. Like, and Man United didn't want Conte to come in, and then they wanted something sustainable because we had success under Mourinho, not the success we wanted, but so for me, it's like we may not want to go back to what we were doing, where we'll finish in top four a year or two, and then go down to six, or do we actually want to actually do get back to where we used to be? And that will actually take time, and that's the reason why we hired Ten Hag. We wanted a manager that plays good football, plays attractive football, plays a more progressive football, and that is going to take time, and people need to understand that.
Um, let's further comments. Bruno needs to step up, says Abbas Yunus. Carla Cole says Wasir. There you go, man. There you go, bro. This is the Arsenal mentality yesterday. We have to finish top four. Mo, I love you, buddy, but last time I checked, we finished behind Arsenal last season. We are Arsenal right now. That's the key thing. Like it's like we're talking about Arsenal mentality. We are Arsenal. We are. Like that's when I'm saying this thing, it's not because me or even Yassi, I want us to finish top four, but but it's just being real, not like at the moment, this one time, United are Arsenal. And like I said, at the start of this season, like, I don't see so far, I don't see how this squad is stronger than it was last season. If my opinion, it's weaker because Pogba and Matic, whatever you say, were solid players for United. They were awful at times, but they were solid at times. We've not replaced those players. We've signed a centre back who, if he's part of Maguire, is still going to concede goals anyway. We signed Ericsson, who, okay, may be able to create more than Bruno, but is he going to be a starter or is he going to be rotated? So, how much impact will Ericsson really have? And then we signed the left back, who may be able to outcompete Shaw, but is one of those kind of young, potential talent type of things. On the same, in my mind, I treat Malacia in the same way as Ahmed, etc. And that potential is there, but we've got to see, you know.
I
Who's
just feel like
got
I understand what I understand the notion of we need to finish top four, but we also had to build something. I feel like we gotta stop like looking for that instant success. Oh,
mm,
we're bringing a manager, we're gonna win the league. Like guys, chillax, relax. Let's build something. Like I remember, now, I don't like to compare managers, but I remember when Jurgen Klopp was coming in. When Jurgen Klopp came in at the beginning, he came in mid-season in October. I remember he had to deal with players that were just absolutely trash. But
mm,
instantly, you seen an instant change of football and way of playing, and
mm,
slowly but surely, year by year, he built onto it. And then
mm,
at one point he would. I remember the year they 1 year they finished fourth. Then the year after that they finished second and with 98 with 97 points.
mm,
I mean, guys, we just gotta understand like just because we're finished, if we end up finishing fifth this season, but you see that we came leaps and bounds, you see
mm,
attractive football, but you see
mm,
that we're like just literally these gaping holes, and there's games where we should have won, but we didn't have the players for it, and then we do end up getting the players for it. You will see a traumatic and change, and everyone's gonna be like, "Wow!" But
mm,
then that's what we're looking for. It's like a what you call it, a style of play, a dramatic change of the way we play football, and then building on that and plugging those holes that Ten
Mm.
Hag wants to be plugged. That's so finishing fifth next season is like, as much as I would hate it, not playing in being Champions League, but for us it'd be like, okay, as long as we see progression, that's what all that matters.
Also, let me keep also stack with regards to Arsenal. Just FYI, Arsenal have currently spent more than United have in the last two, possibly three transfer windows net. So just putting that out there. Just putting that out there. Let's quickly move on. I know see your comments, guys, but we need to move on. We're almost an hour, and I've got to be off in a bit. So let me do this 1 second, because this is where it gets real. Yes, here. This is where it gets real. So formation generator. Um, Starting 11. I suspect we are going to play the 4-3-3. You know, um, in which case, or 4-2-3-1 or 4-3-3, but we've got two holding, etc. And then your cam, and then right and left and whatever. So going into this season, right now, we can't talk about potential signings, De Jong or whatever. Right now, what do you see as Man United's best starting 11? In fact, I might actually clip this to make a video, so I'll upload one separately. But what would you say right now is Manchester United's like best starting 11 going into this season?
So De Gea in goal,
Okay, let's
that's
go.
clear.
Okay, let's go for De
Um,
Gea.
then we have um, right back easy Delo.
Dallo,
So
yeah.
yeah.
Okay, yeah. Ooh, keep on doing that. It's not that one. Dallo, yep. Okay, fine.
Um, left back Malasia.
Okay, so it's saying not Teles, not something. We're definitely saying Malacia.
Malasia, yeah.
Okay. Also,
Center
let me
back
know your thoughts on the chat as well. So, be a gone.
center back pairing Maguire definitely is gonna play.
Really? You
Yeah,
think you think it'll be Maguire and Lissandro, or Lissandro and Varane? I'm still thinking it's going to be Lissandro and Varane, because I don't know. I don't know how you bench Raphael Varane if he's fit.
he's not fit. That's the problem. Like,
Is he?
yeah, he's not fit. I think he's injured still.
He's injured still. Okay, yeah. So it's going to be Maguire, isn't it?
Hmm.
Yeah, because he's not been featured in preseason, has he?
No, I think he played behind closed doors. I think he
Hmm.
appeared, but
Hmm.
I don't think he's 100% fit. So, and come on, the Ten Hag said Maguire is his captain. He's not gonna bench his captain, so Maguire's gonna play, and I think it's gonna be Martinez. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um.
Let's have a quick look at some Lindelof we dropped. Let's see what the chat are thinking. Um. So right now, I will go back to him, but right now I put De Gea, Dalot, Varane, Martinez, Shaw, Fred, Van de Beek, Fernandes, Ericsson, Martial, Sancho.
Mm.
Okay. Um. Yeah. I mean, I would say that this is. I mean, actually, to be fair, this is supposed to be the best starting 11. So being on the best would be best. Um. I'm assuming you would agree that Varane is better than Varane. So we're talking about our best starting 11 going in, as opposed to
You
what you
know,
think.
to be honest, I'd rather have Maguire there. Cause at this
Really?
point, no. Here's the thing:
Okay.
Varane is a better center back,
Hmm.
but Varane, for whatever reason, he just cannot seem to be fit.
Hmm.
I mean, I'm very, 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 very extremely concerned about Varane's availability. There,
Hmm.
I feel like there is simply no excuse for him to be injured like this. For the,
Hmm.
I mean, I understand everyone's body is different, but get your body right, bro. Like, how are you injured throughout the whole preseason? This
Hmm.
makes no sense. You know,
Hmm.
I mean, I just, for me, and Ten Hag is probably going to feel the same way.
Hmm.
Maguire, one thing people as terrible Maguire is, one thing his biggest asset is his availability.
Mm,
Maguire doesn't seem to get injured a lot.
mm,
So that's something that you cannot say about Varane. Varane, like he plays, if he comes back, we had
mm,
to hope that he plays the next game because or else he might be injured. So
mm.
for me, we need to build something. So I'd rather just have Maguire there because I know he's gonna be, he's gonna be reliable. For me, I need that's just the way I'm thinking about it. I'm just right
This
now. I'm not thinking about Varane because he's not available.
is
So
not
what's the point?
available. Is yeah, I agree. I don't disagree.
Yeah,
Box has got a good point here about this. How there's the inconsistency of season. Yeah, we got 59 saves against West Ham, Spurs, and Arsenal, but could only get 11 out of 18
yeah.
against Watford, Burnley, and Norwich, who all went down. So
I,
that's United to a
we
T
were
minus.
unable to beat Watford last season. We didn't beat them once.
It's just so. This is what I'm saying. Um, right into the midfield. It's gonna be McFred, isn't it?
Yep, it is.
It's gonna be McFred.
Yeah.
Let's keep it a stack. It's gonna be. Ooh, getting my
Like
feelings.
I thought that was the one thing you're gonna be shocked about, but I'm
No,
glad we're on the same page. Like it's
no,
gonna be Frick Fred.
gonna be Fred. I don't see, and we've seen Van der Beek playing in more of an advanced role. And I can't put De Jong here because there's no confirmation of that anyway. So
I mean,
what
the only reason,
what
the only,
midfielders do we
yeah,
have? There's no aside from if you want to say Garner maybe should step up, but that's it. It's gonna be McFred again.
the only reason Van Beek even started because McTominay got hurt. Apparently,
Hmm.
it was like a precaution to take McTominay off because he got injured, and it was like halftime. It's like he got like a knock or something like that. But if people thought it was like a tactical thing, but it wasn't. It was because McTominay couldn't go continue. So
They
I don't
love
know.
this. They love this McTominay kid. I don't really
I
understand
don't, I
what
don't
he.
get it either, bro.
I don't get it. I mean, at a stretch, he's a good box to box. He can be a decent box to box midfielder. I can give him that. But outside of that, I don't really know. I really don't know.
I don't get it either. I just don't see what he offers us. He's not the best passer. He's not the best ball progressor. I think the best thing he does. I think the thing he does the best is actually run with the ball. But even that, he just doesn't do that better than anyone else. I don't know.
But it is what it is. This is what the team is going to be.
Yeah,
This is what the team is going to be. So there you go. So McFred in the midfield. So who plays in this position? So I mean, personally, for me, I think Ericsson should play here. I think, and I think Bruno should be dropped.
there's
Um,
no way Bruno getting dropped.
not going to be dropped, is he?
No, no way.
And Ericsson will be swapped. That's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Uh, that's so. So we're going to put Bruno Fernandes here.
I think he's gonna use, and this is my theory about Ericsson. I think Ericsson is gonna be used as like a utility player.
Hmm.
I think Ericsson is gonna like be
I mean, Box
deployed.
says I like Ericsson playing with Bruno. So Ericsson on the left, Bruno number 10. I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, there is a case to be had there where Ericsson plays on the left, and then you play. Although Sancho played on the left quite a bit last season as well, So these are the things you have: Martial and Rashford who want to hog the left,
Mhm.
Sancho could play on the left, Ericsson could play on the left. So you know, really, the right is going to go. I can't have Martial not playing on the right. I can't have another season of Rashford trying to play on the right. So it's got to be Sancho, surely.
And I don't understand why I see fans really want Sancho to play on the left when all preseason he's been playing on the right.
Hmm.
I feel like sometimes like we just gotta. Sometimes I understand managers will say one thing and do another. That's why you gotta look at the manager's actions. If the manager wanted Sancho to play on the left wing, he would have played in the left wing for God's sakes. He's been strictly played Sancho on the right wing, which means next in this upcoming season, he sees Sancho as his right winger.
Hmm.
So for me, it's like I don't. One thing I don't understand about what I feel like this like a gender driven base fan base. I feel like this guys just stop with all this agenda and just look at things in terms of how they fit. This is a team we have, so we had to put out the best team that we possibly can. So if that's the case, then we understand that Rashford is a better left winger than he will ever be on the right. So why do you people want to put Sancho on the left and put like what Alenga on the right or a
We don't even
Martial on
we
the
don't
right?
we don't even have we don't even have like a dearth of right wing aside from Sancho and possibly Ahmad, and Ahmad are the right wing options the United have right now.
I
Let's just
mean,
that.
he's been Sancho had been killing it this whole preseason playing on the right, but
Mm.
people are so. I just feel like people have set this massive agenda, massive hate towards um, Rashford, and they don't want to see Rashford as their left winger. They just don't want to see
Well,
it,
it
so they
would be
want.
well. This is the key. I mean, finishing off because I think what's going to depend on is one. Let's say stick with Sancho on the right for now, because I think that's going to be the case. You now have two positions, and you have two positions between Martial, Rashford, possibly Ericsson, and Ronaldo. Now, I don't know whether Ronaldo is going to stay at the club. I'm going to I'm going to go in this with Ronaldo. Ronaldo not playing for United again. I'll keep it
Yeah,
stat. So because I just think that it's a similar thing to what happened. I just get Juve vibes.
yeah, same.
I'm going to go in it and assume that Ronaldo is not going to play for Manchester United, although this Sir Alex Ferguson conversation may be the difference. So I don't know what's going on behind with that. So but I'm going to go in this moving that Ronaldo isn't going to be playing for Manchester United. So with that being said, the only other number 9 option you have right now is Anthony Martial. So Martial will have to be United's number 9 yet again. And in which case, on the left, it's between Rashford, Ericsson, and Elanga. Now, I'm not 100% sure that Ten Hag actually rates Marcus Rashford yet. Um, and we did say this is the best. So, is the best option on the left? Now, yes, you've got to put your bias to one side. Out of
Yeah,
the players, when you include Ericsson, Elanga, and Rashford, who is the best? And the chat, likewise, what do you think? Who is the best option to be on the left out of those three players?
people are not gonna like what people are not gonna like what to hear what I have to say because they think I'm gonna be biased, but I
You're
just
gonna be
don't.
back. Yeah.
I just don't think Alenga is better than Rashford, guys. Let's be honest here. On the left wing, I don't think Alenga is a better player than Rashford on the left. And I mean, I won't mind. I'll actually love to see Ericsson play on the left wing.
Okay, we'll put Ericsson there then.
Yeah. So for me, you know what? I'll go with Ericsson. You know what? Screw it. I'll
Hmm.
go with Ericsson. Even though, even though, really truly, it's Rashford, but let's go with Ericsson.
Well, we've done it in a way where we've been able to get all of Manchester United signings into the
Yeah.
squad. So this I think right now is realistically Manchester United's best available starting 11 because Ronaldo is probably not going to be there, and as you said, Varane is incredibly injury prone, so it's probably not going to be involved. So based on most likely starting and availability 11, De Gea, Malacia, Martinez, Maguire, Dallo, Fred, McTominay, Ericsson, Fernandes, Sancho, Martial. And obviously, this might change. United might sign a right back, or De Jong might sign. We might get a midfielder. But right now, I think that this is probably the best, United starting 11. Would you disagree?
No, 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 no. I don't disagree.
Okay.
Uh, yeah, bro, man, this COVID thing is kicking my ass, bro.
Oh, you got it, man. Oh, geez,
Yeah,
man. Jeez. No,
yeah,
thank you for joining, man. You need to go and rest. Well, we done in a second anyway. But we done in the next 10 minutes, guys. Yasser needs to recover, man.
bro.
So,
I've been locked up in my room for the last what 4 days now, and
mm,
bro, I'm so happy that I got on the stream because I would have lost my mind, bro.
jeez, because you've been in isolation, presumably.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, sorry, bro, man. It's not. It's as someone who's been there, and done that. It ain't pretty.
no,
It's not.
it's not. I mean,
Uh,
I've had it before, but it's not good to have it. There's no,
again.
yeah, it's not good.
Let me quickly read some comments, and then we're gonna quickly summarize the predictions, and then we'll be done. Um, so let's have a look. Let's go back all the way up. Just a few. I won't go fully up. Say so. Let's see. Rick OS says, "Honest outcome would be Newcastle in the Prem." Well, Newcastle looking strong. Newcastle looking like they could at least challenge for Europe. There's definitely that. Um, Box again says right now I would start Delo, Varane, Martinez, Shaw, Fred, Van der Beek, Fernandes, Ericsson, Marshall, Sancho. So yeah, that's a fair amount of what we've got there. Although like I said, I think he's gonna start. He's gonna play McTominay. Like that's just gonna be a thing. Um, that midfield is dead. It still is. Bayern needs CR7. Yeah, they probably do. I like Ericsson playing with Bruno, Martial, number 9, Sancho right. Um, Bruno, Adrian says his best game is high up next to Roman 9, like Martial. Ericsson doing the 8-10 job, but Bruno dropping deep is a disaster.
I don't see the Ericsson on the left wing actually sounds a lot better than
Hmm,
it does work though.
hmm.
But if Bruno does vacate that position, then you had Ericsson filling in.
In exactly. So I think it's probably worth them. Whether they will do that or not, I'm still not 100% convinced. I still think Rashford might get into his team somehow, but I think he's going to have to fight for his spot more than he did beforehand under Ollie. CR7 is bigger than Bayern. EFAC, what's going on, bro? Right side is Sancho all day long. He looks more creative on that side. Yeah, we can't. Sancho has to lock that, and then maybe Ahmed could come on to give some support there. Um, Ericsson should start. Hot potato is not a number 10. He is more of a false number 9. I'm assuming high hot potato. We're talking to Marshall or
Mhm,
um,
mhm.
some Bruno. Big up, RDS. Shout out to Eddie, man. Hope you're doing well, buddy. Make sure you go and subscribe, guys. Head over to Eddie's channel, like and subscribe, and support Eddie's Football Waffles channel, man. He's
Yeah,
a good
shout
guy.
out to Eddie, man.
And
Shout out
shout
to
out to
Eddie,
Eddie,
man.
man. Also, guys, we are doing although this is the United season preview, we are doing a Premier League season preview tier list. So it's going to be a lot of previews. We're going to be doing a Serie A one with the Rossoneri TV guys, and then we're going to be doing a Liga one as well the next week or the week after next. But this Sunday it is our Premier League season review as well. So make sure you tune into that as well. Okay, but thanks for those who are watching, man. I really appreciate it. Make sure you like the vid as well, guys. We've got 19 people, no, 20 people watching. So I need 20 likes on this video, guys. I need 20 likes on this video, guys. It goes a lot. Please, subscribe, man. We're getting more people viewing now towards the end of the show, guys. So thanks, but no, we'll still go. Yasser, Marcus Bounder, Rashford. You seem to be known for that, bro. I mean, can you explain that to the new viewers watching? Can you explain the Marcus Bounder Rashford thing, please?
Marcus Bundle Rashford. Let's see. 1 second. The Marcus Bundle Rashford. It's just that's just how I see the guy. I
Hmm,
feel like this guy is, if he reaches his potential, that's a
hmm,
big if. He's gonna win Ballon d'Ors, but
hmm.
it is what it is, man. I mean, I'm highly disappointed in Rashford, to be honest. I'm Rashford's biggest critic.
Bruno is a better version of Deli Ali, 15 to 18. He's better in the final third. When Ericsson was gone, then they tried Ali deep. It never worked. Needs a striker, and Bruno, he's a goal and assist player.
Yeah.
Grandpa Sir Alex Azedi has talked to the problem child that Daddy Ten Hag couldn't sort. So I'm sure everything okay now, Ronnie. Well, like I said, Sir Alex Ferguson has gone in and said, "Hey, listen, we need to sort things out." So maybe
Did
that
you
might
hear
have.
about Silas Ferguson? He's part of the board now, and
Yeah,
yeah,
that is interesting. Shouts SSB in the chat. Yo, what's up? Oh, by the way, guys, for those who are watching, remember I have created a second channel called Red Devil Studio Extra. That's when we're putting my highlights and clips, in particular my brief short post-match reactions. So links in the description. So if you head over there, it's called Red Devil Studio Extra Clips channel. I'd appreciate you going over to subscribe. It means a lot. Um, let's see questions. Oh, Box says we still have to make room for Dumfries, De Jong, Ruiz, Sesko. Box, we're not. The problem is that we're probably not getting any of those players if we're keeping stack. Even the Sesko stuff, are like
we might get one, but
no,
no,
yeah,
not all four. That's crazy.
I'd be very surprised. I'd be very, very surprised. Um, Apparently Fergie, David Gill, John
Yeah,
Merton. and Mitchell will be having monthly meetings about the development of the character in the stadium and how we should move forward as a team. Fair enough. We'll see. We'll
I
see.
mean, whatever works, you know. I know a lot of people has been. I saw a lot of negative things said on online about this whole situation where these guys are coming all together, and but for me, it's like, man, whatever works, works, you know.
Big up Arias and Wasir, man. And then Ronaldo's leading us to a treble. He is probably not,
Yes.
though. He's probably not. He's probably not.
Well,
Right. Let's just run up with our with the predictions and just finish up here. So guys, Yasir, yes, as we round up, man. So realistically, where United going to finish next season? This season?
do you want to hear the optimistic,
No, no. I want you to be real. I want you to be
realistic?
real. I
Okay.
want you to be real. I want you to be real.
I feel like we're gonna miss out on the top four.
Mm,
I think we're just going to miss out. I feel like it's gonna be up and down season.
mm,
We're gonna play some good football.
mm,
We're gonna get thrashed at
mm,
times.
mm,
I think I see us finishing just outside the top four, finishing fifth.
mm.
But I also see us maybe going to a final in one of the cups. I'm thinking maybe the FA Cup.
I think fifth. The only thing about this was I don't think that we'll get I don't think we'll win the Europa League.
Neither do I. Yeah.
I think that I think fifth. I think we'll probably get to the Europa League semi-final. I'll say that. And then I think that well, at least we should get to the quarterfinals at least of the FA Cup and League Cup. That's kind of my prediction right now. Which is a downer. So, but at least if I keep those expectations there, they can be surpassed. But
Exactly. That's see, good thinking, man. Good thinking, Radius.
that's it. Otherwise, I'm on loan to Real Madrid anyway. So it is what it is. I'm
And
on
then,
loan.
we hear then RDS leaves on vacation for a little bit, and we start to hear from Magpie Studios, right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, Magpies might be making a few cameos next season, man. Magpies might be making cameos. So brothers in the other room, man. You know what I mean. So,
Hmm.
but it is what it is. Right, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. Yasir, man, I really, really appreciate it for you joining the stream.
Of course,
Um,
man. No problem, man.
I'll
Anytime.
be on I'll be on the Have Hope stream, giving some banter. So, but guys, thank you so much. I really, really appreciate this growing community. If you're new to the channel, like, share, and subscribe to Red Devil Studio. Join us on Sunday. We are doing, and hopefully you can join us as well. Yes, if you can. We're doing a Premier League tier prediction for the Premier League. All 20 teams, where they rank. Be live and interactive. So make sure you guys get involved. Really, really appreciate it. Have a nice day, everyone, and cheers.